7 quarterback star going to be Justin Herbert. Love the Chargers. They're going up against the Chiefs secondary, which I have definitely improving. But I think that matchup is between two of the best quarterbacks in the league with Justin Herbert and also Patrick Mahomes. So I think that this is going to be another barn burner, probably like a 31-24 type of game. I think that both offenses are going to shine. So give me Justin Herbert, especially with the weapons that he has. Keenan Allen, he's been the leading target. Austin Eckler, he missed out on a couple of weeks. He's back to healthy. So I think that if the Chiefs, want to hang on with this one, Justin Herbert, if the Chargers want to pull off the upset, Justin Herbert's going to have a very solid game. So I think that in a shootout, Justin Herbert should have his fair share of fantasy points in week number 7. Okay, let's go on now to the running back start of the week. And let's go to Josh Jacobs. You are going to absolutely salivate at what this matchup is. He's going up against one of the worst defenses in the league. And that is, I believe that is the Denver Broncos, if I'm correct. Yes, it is. Going up against the Denver Broncos. Actually, no, going up against the Bears. Sorry, I got it mixed up. Going up against the Bears, but that's also one of the worst rush defenses in the league. Coming off of a game where he didn't score a touchdown, but he had 25 attempts and 77 yards. So I think if you're really waiting on Josh Jacobs to score you a couple of touchdowns, it's got to be on the road when they go on to Chicago. Jimmy Garoppolo, if he's healthy and ready to go, I think that this Raiders team is going to run away with this one. Chicago just hasn't really shown much on the defensive side of the ball, doesn't really have any answers. So I think Josh Jacobs is going to do his fair share, both in the rushing department and also the game. So this is the game, you draft on, and this is the matchup that you've been waiting for, is a defense that he can really go off for you. So Josh Jacobs is a lock for the start of the week in the running back position. Going on to the wide receiver start. I'm not biased. We're just going to go with the hot streak of Amon-Ra St. Brown. It is a tough matchup going up against Baltimore's defense, especially in Baltimore. But like I mentioned, I'm not picking against the Lions anymore, especially the way that this offense has been rolling. Amon-Ra St. Brown is the leader. The way that Jared Goff has been playing, you really have to trust this offense. David Montgomery, he's out. Jahmyr Gibbs, he's also a little bit banged up. So this has been more of a pass-heavy attack. Look for that to continue against a Ravens secondary that was strong against the Titans, but the Titans didn't really have really a vaunted pass offense that the Lions had. So I think that the Ravens defense will be tested. So look for Amon-Ra to have another great game against a tough defense. Okay, on now to the quarterback sit of the week, and it's going to be Derek Carr. Don't really like this matchup for Carr in the Saints against the Jaguars defense. That has looked phenomenal. So it's probably going to be more of a low-scored matchup, especially on Thursday night. Both teams coming off of a short week. So, the way that the Saints offense has been pretty vanilla offense, can't really trust. Derek Carr, he's coming off of a good game, 353 yards and a touchdown, but it's very hit and miss with the Saints offense. So I would wait for a better matchup for Derek Carr in the Saints offense, especially against a very talented secondary in the Jaguars. Let's go on now to the running back sit of the week, and Jacob's going to hate me. I feel like it's been 3 straight weeks where I've been sitting one of his starting running backs, but Alexander Mattison in the Minnesota Vikings, a tough matchup on Monday night against the San Francisco rush defense. San Fran's got one of the best rushing attacks in the league, so I would definitely stay away from that. Madison also hasn't been too good either, especially the way that he's been looking. Only 18 attempts, 44 yards. That's not exactly what we're looking for, especially when you drafted him to be your RB1 or RB2. So even, with Justin Jefferson being banged up, don't really trust this. It's probably going to be a tough matchup for Minnesota to win, especially with San Francisco coming off of the loss. They are going to be motivated to get back on track. So sit Alexander Mattison this week against a very tough defensive matchup against San Fran. Last one is going to be the wide receiver sit of the week. And I just can't get a grasp of what is going on with Jahan Dotson. He was one of my breakout candidates going into the season. That's been the case. And that is right, coming off of a game where he didn't have anything. 0 fantasy points, no yardage. It is the Terry McLaurin show for the Washington Commanders. So if you're a McLaurin fantasy owner, definitely start him this week against the Giants. I know that the Giants secondary looked very good last night against the Buffalo Bills, but I think that this Washington Commanders passing attack is really hitting on all cylinders. Eric Bennett, the offense coordinator, he's calling up the plays. So John Dotson, he's just not doing too good. So really the only wide receiver I can trust on this offense is Terry McLaurin. Curtis Samuel, he had that one good game, but he's really been inconsistent. So I would leave Jahan Dotson. Honestly, I probably would just cut Jahan Dotson at this rate because he hasn't really shown much. So that is your wide receiver sit of the week, and that is your starts and sits heading into week number 7.